Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to Soul Good. I'm Amber Marie, and this is your 2023 Tarotscope. If you're curious about the decks that I'm using today, you can find a list of them in the description box below. You can also find links to my social media accounts, as well as links to information on personal readings and the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram. There will also be a timestamp in the description box if you would like to bypass shuffling. We are going to be looking at a lot of information today, Aquarius, so please remember that this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so please only take what resonates and leave the rest. Let's jump right in and see what's going on for you this year. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us about Aquarius's theme for 2023, please. Okay, thank you. Tell us about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Aquarius this year. Thank you. Tell us about Aquarius's biggest asset. Let's try that again. Nice, clear message, please. Tell us about Aquarius's biggest asset. What is Aquarius's biggest asset in 2023? Aquarius's biggest, thank you. Interesting. Tell us, what will Aquarius have an opportunity to learn this year, please? Oh, that was totally too many cards there in the front, but nice couple there that fell out over to the side. All right, what does Aquarius's soul want them to know for 2023? What does Aquarius's soul want them to know for 2023, please? Thank you. What does God want Aquarius to know? You might call it source, universe, right? Whatever you refer to it as. I call it God. Okay. What does God want Aquarius to know for 2023? Thank you. And what is a blessing that Aquarius will have the opportunity to receive this year? What is a blessing that Aquarius will have the opportunity to receive this year? Thank you. Let's get some clarity for you. Tell us more, please, about Aquarius's theme for 2023. Thank you. Tell us more, please, about a shift or an epiphany that will take place for Aquarius. Thank you. Tell us more about Aquarius's biggest asset. More about what Aquarius will, thank you. Okay. Tell us more, please, about what Aquarius's soul would like them to know. Thank you. Tell us, wow, just flying out these tarot cards. And tell us more, please, about a blessing that Aquarius will have the opportunity to receive, please. Tell us more about a blessing that Aquarius will have an opportunity to receive. Thank you. All right, let's jump in and take a look at your theme for this year. So you do have the fates here, Aquarius, the number 17 coming out first. I am going to read all of the numbers that are on these Wisdom of the Oracle cards. They may be important to you in some way, shape, or form. They could be lucky numbers, addresses, phone numbers, ages, birthdays, right? There's all sorts of ways that these numbers could show up in your reality or be important to you. So just keep that in mind as we move through your reading. It's interesting, Aquarius, that the number 17 with this fates energy would show up. Why? Well, in the tarot, the star card is actually the number 17, which is essentially your card, right? So I do feel like in 2023, you could potentially be moving into this energy where you're showing up for yourself, right? And this isn't in a way that's like savage, okay? I don't know why I feel like I need to say that. Um, but it's not in a way that's like savage. It feels more like you're showing up for you authentically. You're showing up for you in a way that is nurturing and loving and caring, right? Maybe this is something that you've missed out on in the past or in your childhood, right? And you're giving back to yourself, nurturing yourself, right? Even if it's not something that you missed out on your, in your childhood, or if it's not some sort of wound or trauma that you've experienced, right? I just feel like 2023 could be one of those years for you, Aquarius, where you are giving back to yourself, loving yourself, holding yourself, nurturing yourself, right? Taking care of yourself. I do feel as well that this year, it just feels like things are happening to put you in alignment, right? Or to set you on your path, okay? There could be things that are taking place that, I don't know, it just feels like they could be uncomfortable, right? I'm not saying that it's going to be like leave a bad taste in your mouth or that it's going to be unwelcome, right? But just that it might make you uncomfortable. Like, I just feel like you could be put in positions that maybe make you a little bit uncomfortable, but I feel like it's to essentially align you with your highest good, right? With what is going to bring you expansion and growth. For some of you, I'm actually hearing that you need to have a little bit of faith. Take whatever resonates, right? Leave what doesn't. But for some of you, I'm hearing that, like, have a little bit of faith. Or a lot of it. You also have here, wow, okay, so we go 17, now 18, right? So I do feel like this year is, again, a year of growth, right? Like I was talking about. I feel like this could be a year of growth for you, right? Because we progress from 17 to 18, and just for some reason, I'm getting those vibes. But we also have serendipity here, right? It's interesting to me because we have the fates and then serendipity. Both of these cards indicate that spirit is working with you. Both of these cards would indicate to me that, spirit is divinely orchestrating things in your favor this year. So I feel like there's something here about, it's going to be a matter of, are you utilizing the opportunities that are being presented to you? Are you utilizing the tools that are being given, the paths that are being made, right? I feel like there's going to be a lot of that kind of energy, okay? But I do feel like spirit is working with you, right? And is, again, orchestrating things on your behalf. You also have your, wow, this is fantastic, Aquarius, right? Because you also have peace, which, interestingly enough, is the number 23, right? As we are in 2023. So I feel like this year for you is going to be one that could potentially feel significantly different than your like most recent years, right? This could be one where it feels like things are falling into place, where it feels like, again, like God's on your side, like the universe is conspiring, to bring you everything that you want, or to just kind of things just kind of working out in your favor, right? And in addition to that, right, you're also seeming to love yourself. Like that was an energy I picked up on right away, was this kind of being held type of energy, right? And I feel like this love for yourself and moving in those directions to care for yourself and to, follow what you feel, right, is true for you. I feel like it brings this sense of peace. And it's interesting because this on this peace card, um, there is this egg, and I feel like there's something here like being reborn within you, right? Something changing within you significantly. It's interesting too, because like all of a sudden everything just felt very still. I feel like for some of you, this may not resonate with everyone, but for some of you, I feel like there's been this incredible comfort and peace found in stillness, right? Um, for some of you, I feel like you cherish the quiet moments when there's no noise at all, right? For some of you, that's like the stillness of the morning or the evening, or like, you know what I'm saying? It's when or maybe it's like when you're meditating or praying or, um, I don't know, everything just suddenly felt incredibly still and it felt comfortable and peaceful. And I feel like I don't know what that is, Aquarius. I just feel like there's something that you really, how do I word it? It's like it feels like gratitude, right? Like but there's something else wrapped in it as well. Okay, so there's some form of like gratitude and um not mystery. What is the word, please, Lord? I don't know how to explain it, because there's like a stillness and a comfort, um but it's accompanied with this gratitude for that peace, right? And it also has this sense of profound significance. I don't know what that's about. Maybe that's for somebody super specific, right? Maybe somebody who's had a incredibly I don't know, like incredibly moving spiritual experience, right? I don't know. Um, but that, I mean, it feels amazing. Let's see what the tarot says. Yeah, death and rebirth. Look at this. Look at this. Yes. Like I was saying, some sort of birth, right? Because or new beginning, right? Because of that egg. And then here comes this death and rebirth energy, right? So yes. And it's interesting because this is the number 13 and we're actually still inside the 13-minute range, right? So I feel like nothing comes from nothing. And I do feel like there is there's there's a change, right? I said that. Like there's a change that's taken place, or that will throughout this year, right? I feel like this theme for you, Aquarius, is that there's something really big stirring in your life. And I feel like it really does have the opportunity, or the potential rather, to create tremendous transformation. And I do feel like a lot of this has to do with, it's like how you feel inside, right? Because I don't know why, and this may, again, this is for somebody specific, but there's this energy of like, maybe on the outside, before you've portrayed that you've got everything under control and everything's all gravy and cool and fine, right? But it's really not. Like inside, it's chaos. It's absolute batshit nuts. And I'm not saying that to like say that, you know, to or to comment on your mental status or anything like that. That's not what I mean. What I mean is absolutely chaotic inside, right? Like there's not peace in there. Um, and it's interesting because for some reason it feels like there could be something that takes place throughout this year that where that part is able to find peace, that inside part. And I feel like it starts because there's some nurturing of self, right? There's like allowing spirit to work in your life, like trusting. It just really feels to me like this big transformative period for you. We've also got here the Seven of Wands in reverse. So I feel like this Seven of Wands, she's often, I mean, in the upright, she's like a very like she's persevering, right? She's determined. In the reverse, it's like, I feel like giving up, right? Like I'm exhausted. I don't have it. I feel like giving up. And it's interesting as well because we are 2023 in a universal 7 year. You have the Seven of Wands here, right? Sevens is an energy of introspection, reflection, going inward, analyzing. It's also this energy of like spirituality, which is fascinating, right? Because both of these things apply to what's come through here for you as theme, right? And I feel like maybe in 2022, maybe you were feeling like giving up. Maybe you were feeling like, I just don't know how much more I can take. I just don't know how much longer I can keep this. I don't know what it is, what this is, right? But like how long I can keep this going. And I just looked up and it was 1717, right? Like I literally feel like you may have been questioning things and wanting to give up. And it almost feels like the fates stepped in, right? Like the fates step in and something, I don't know what it is, right? Maybe you stepped into 2023 and things just seem to start to fall in line. Or maybe right in the moment when you want to give up, something happens and all of a sudden you get to take that next step, whatever it is, right? One step away from giving up and all of a sudden things are happening. It's really fascinating. What else do we have? The Knight of Pentacles in the reverse. I mean, here's the thing about the Knight of Pentacles. Like, this is somebody who is essentially like working without reward, right? It's essentially, or somebody who's obsessed with work. In the upright, it's like somebody who's very responsible, hardworking, right? This is like obsessed with work. And I almost feel like maybe not taking responsibility. I feel like that maybe that's for somebody specific because it almost feels like maybe for something or some situations or something, maybe you weren't taking responsibility for your part, for your role, or maybe you needed to forgive yourself about your part or your role or something, right? Something that took place. Maybe you've come to a place where you can do that this year. Maybe that's part of that rebirth, right? But I feel like moving forward, right? Moving forward from 2023 and beyond, I feel like there's no more of this like doing things that leave me unfulfilled. Because I feel like you may have experienced things where maybe you had financial security or felt comfortable financially or something, right? But that wasn't the reward that you needed, right? Like for you were still unfulfilled. So it's like I'm obsessed with work and I'm working and I'm working and working, but I'm still like I still don't feel full. I still don't feel whole. I still don't feel complete. I still don't feel happy, right? I don't know what that is for you, but I feel like this could be a change that's taking place, right? Where you are able to find things that are fulfilling, right? That give you a reason to keep going. Maybe this is the change that's needed. Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So again, right? Another like energy of like being obsessed with work. So maybe it's that you are dumping your energy into things that were really just unfulfilling, that really were just not providing you with the rewards that you wanted or needed, right? The rewards that would bring you to this space of feeling fortunate, of feeling blessed, of feeling peaceful, of feeling comfortable, of, you know what I'm saying? Right there, it feels like there's could have been something missing. And it feels like maybe you were trying to fill that hole, but maybe with all the wrong things, right? Take it if it resonates. Let's take a look at a shift or an epiphany taking place for you, Aquarius, in 2023. You have a few cards here. So you have a leg up. This is absolutely beautiful, Aquarius. I love this for you because, again, we have fate, we have serendipity, we have peace. Now you have a leg up. So the Spirit's already said, like, I'm behind you. I'm supporting you, right? I seriously feel that, you know, Spirit, God, Source, whatever you call it, is literally with you as you're going through this, with the opportunity to really transform and to start experiencing life from a different space, right? As you move through 2023 and beyond. And showing up as a shift or an epiphany is this leg up card, which would indicate that there is like some sort of something in your experience this year that is giving you a leg up, that is giving you assistance, helping you with whatever it is to move you forward, right? To help you to succeed. Like Spirit's giving you a leg up. This is the number 34. That could be important for someone, right? But I feel like for some of you, the epiphany and the leg up is literally about realizing that you have more help than what you realize, right? Or there's more available to you than what you realize. Okay. But I feel like this help that comes in, and it could be from a person, a situation, right? However it comes in, it feels like it creates reflection of self, but also movement, right? It feels like it allows you to consider things from a different perspective, um, but also allows you to progress, allows you to move forward, right? And at a faster pace than you were previously. If you look at this card, I know there's a glare, I do apologize for that, but it's this little polar bear cub climbing up the side of a older polar bear, right? So if the younger polar bear is on the ground and, you know, just trudging along, it's going to move at much shorter distances than that larger polar bear, right? It's able the larger bear is able to cover more distance at a much faster pace. And so I feel like that's, you know, that's part of it as well, is I feel like it's going to help you to make moves at a much faster pace. Like there's so much energy here that I feel is going to be available to help you if you let it. Yeah, again, you have exchanging gifts as well, right? So, I mean, if you let it, if you allow, you know, the universe to move in your experience, listening to your intuition, right? Trusting Spirit, trusting God, and you're moving forward, you're putting in the work, you're doing what you're asked, right? Like, I really feel like it's going to feel like a completely different experience for you. right? A completely different experience. It seriously feels to me like all of these cards are basically saying, as far as the oracle cards are concerned, right? All of these cards are basically saying, like, it's nothing but good times, right? Like, there's all sorts of luck coming your way, all sorts of help, all sorts of blessings that are going to be showing up, right? What else do we have? Oh, wait a minute. I just flipped over the wrong card. Let me grab the right card. Okay, we have never ending story here. This is the number 37. Okay. And essentially, this is basically a story you've been telling yourself over and over again, right? It could be a limiting belief, it could be a programming, it could be trauma, right? There's all sorts of things that this can stem from. But it's interesting because you have a shift or an epiphany. And I feel like with this leg up and exchanging gifts, you know, uh, coming before this never ending story, I feel like whatever this shift is that takes place, right, that feels like all the blessings are coming in, all the help is showing up, like I feel like it literally helps you to shift that story, right? I literally feel like it pulls you out of that story that you've been telling, right? Whatever it is. And even if it's just a story that you've told to yourself, right? It's something that has limited you previously. But it feels like there's a huge shift that's taking place here, right? And maybe it's all, I mean, all of the stars are aligning. You're showing up for yourself, right? It feels like a magical fucking time. No joke. Here's the Four of Cups showing up, which is this energy of disconnection. And maybe that's where that never ending story came from, right? Maybe you were disconnected from source. Maybe you were disconnected from your path, from your truth, from your destiny, from the life that you've been meant to be living this whole time, from your purpose, perhaps even, right? Maybe you've been disconnected from all of those things and have failed to see what's been right in front of you the whole time, or what you've had access to the whole time, right? Maybe you were telling yourself a story that was not, couldn't be further from the truth. And now you've discovered, how connected you truly are, what you truly do have at your fingertips. Yeah, and I feel like, yeah, it's interesting because this is counting up yet again. So more growth, right? I feel like in 2023, you come to the realization that you're not in competition with anybody, right? It feels like also that yeah, like everything doesn't have to be a war or a battle or who has it better or who has more. You know what I'm saying? Like there's something there about that. I don't know if that's like a family thing or if that's like what's done in like your friendship circle or what was in the past or some kind of programming that you grew up believing or something, but it really feels to me like there's something here about like not everything has to be a competition, right? Like you don't have to just, I don't know what it is, because it almost feels like I'm not going to get close to anybody because everybody's my competition, right? And it's like not everything has to be that way. Like not everybody wants the same things that you want, right? Or you know what I'm saying? Like not everybody's experience is the same as yours. It's very interesting energies, actually. Okay, let's take a look at your biggest asset. You do have here imagine, right? And here's the thing, I feel like your ability to essentially, like, I'm actually getting this like manifesting energy, right? Like to partner up with universe and to really connect. Again, I'm getting that energy of connecting with creator, with divine consciousness, and using your ability to manifest. I feel like it's like that's your biggest asset because you're able to see, and when I say see, like I don't necessarily mean with your eyes, right? But you're able to see, imagine, envision, play out, however you want to word it, scenarios, right? You're and I feel like it allows you to navigate life with much more ease. I just feel like you're able to manifest solutions, right? By doing this, it's interesting. You also have here the Temperance card in reverse to clarify, right? So this is fascinating to me because it's like it's your biggest asset. And the Temperance in reverse, like oftentimes reversals indicate blocked energy, right? Um, so with this Temperance card, I mean, this could kind of be like being impatient. It can be kind of being like imbalanced or like a Debbie Downer, like not being able to be optimistic about things, right? This can also be, what's another word? Yeah, like lack of balance, lack of harmony. It can also be an energy of like extremes, right? So again, like I feel like your biggest asset, I feel again, is being able to imagine different solutions in moments that are varying and extreme, right? So it could be like anything from how am I going to make this happen, right? And I mean like get this thing, or make this move, or create this thing, this business, this product, this whatever, right? Like how am I going to do that? You're able to imagine the possibilities and scenarios like that, but also in like survival type of scenarios, right? Like, okay, what do I need to do in order to have enough to eat this month, right? Like I don't know what it is. It just feels like those problem solving types of skills coming into play in extreme situations or imbalanced situations, right? Where there's pressure, where it's like maybe you don't have a lot of time to be patient, right? Or you're unable to be patient. I just feel like that imagination, I just feel like it comes as help. It comes in the form of an asset. Again, because it allows you, I feel, to navigate situations that don't seem like they're going to work in your favor, right? It's so interesting. I've never, to the best of my recollection, gotten anything like that um, from from these types of cards, or from these cards before. It's so fascinating. Okay, so looking at now what you'll have an opportunity to learn, right? In this space, I intended for it to be something that could be challenging or difficult to face. So you do have observer here. This is the number 49, and it could be, right, that something that's difficult or challenging is to actually play the observer, right? To not get super attached to situations, right? And it's interesting because it's like, how do I word this? Like you don't want to be so attached that you're unable rather to see what you need to, right? That you're too close to a situation to see the lesson, or to see what you need to. Um, but you also don't want to be so detached that you can't see the lesson. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just feel like there's something here about learning how to play the observer without being attached or super detached. Like, and it's interesting because I'm an advocate for the practice of detachment in a healthy fashion, right? It's not that I don't, because detachment doesn't mean you don't care necessarily, right? It just means that you're not weighted to an outcome, that if things don't go the way that you would like them to, that you're not going to spiral out of control, that your whole world isn't going to end, right? um and it feels, I don't know, there's something here. I feel like there's a big opportunity to learn to play the observer, because I feel like you want to control the things sometimes, right? I feel like that could be like habitual behavior, like wanting to, I don't know, kind of like fit in this neat little box. And playing the observer requires you to step back and not have your hands all in the mix, right? So that could be a little bit difficult for you, but I feel like it's super, it is a beautiful, beautiful lesson to be able to learn. And here's why: because when you're able to play the observer, not only are you able to see what's going on, you're able to make adjustments, you're able to respond versus reacting, you're able to process versus acting impulsively without, really considering how it might impact not only others but yourself, right? You're also able to dig deeper and ask more questions. I mean, there's so many benefits, seeing the larger picture, right? Changing perspectives. Like, there's so many things that come with that, but also what comes with it is releasing that weight of being attached to things, right? To having to control an outcome. And if it doesn't go the way you want, then, it's the end. I feel like in playing the observer, I feel like there are things that are revealed to you, especially about yourself. We also have here the Unfinished Symphony. This is the number 10, right? And here's the thing. So there may be something here this year that shows up as an opportunity for you to learn in regards to gaining closure in a certain situation, right? And with that observer card there, this could be one where maybe you aren't able to face that situation or that person or experience face to face, right? Or it could be something that maybe you've never felt like you've had closure on, right? Whatever it is, this is an opportunity for you to be able to get closure, right? But I feel like playing the observer is going to help you in that situation. I feel like it's going to help you to find forgiveness, not only for yourself, but anyone else or the situation involved in its entirety, right? Also, if you pay attention and play the, how do I word this? If you play the observer but pay attention, you can also see where maybe you've been holding on to things that where you haven't been allowing yourself to gain closure, right? There could have been situations where you may have been able to gain closure a long time ago, but you couldn't see it from that perspective, right? So playing the observer oftentimes is far more beneficial than we would think, and oftentimes our fears prevent us from looking at ourselves in various perspectives or looking at situations in various perspectives because we're afraid of feeling hurt or pain, feeling rejection or abandonment, right? So I just feel like playing the observer, Aquarius, allows you to see situations from different perspectives and gain closure where you may not have been able to in the past. And that can be on anything. Let's see what the tarot has. Yeah, or the tarot. And I said the Tao is so interesting because it sounded weird to me when I said it. I almost repeated it. But you have the Tower showing up here as well. So here's the thing. The Tower represents the destruction or the destruction of illusion. It also is an energy or a representation of challenging outdated beliefs, right? Breakthroughs taking place, foundational shifts happening. And, part of, I feel, what's interesting about this card showing up is that you have this observer energy, which could create what some might refer to as upheaval, right? Because you see things from a different perspective, and oftentimes that involves seeing yourself from a different perspective, and sometimes that's a bit uncomfortable, especially if you've sabotaged yourself or if you've been inflicting pain on yourself, you know what I'm saying, by continuing cycles, holding on to things that aren't meant for you, right? Or those sorts of things. And so I feel like though this may be a challenge, right? Though this may be, these things may be difficult to face, like they are happening for you. They are creating shifts for you foundationally, right? Which could allow you to build something new in its place, right? Create new foundations. Oh, this is so beautiful, right? Because you have the Tower here, followed by the World, which I love because along with that Unfinished Symphony card, both it and the World represent closure, completion, right? And it's interesting because you get the Tower card first, which is saying to you, Aquarius, that in order for something to, how do I word this? Like, right? In order to find that completion, like things must fall apart, right? In order to find that harmony, like things must be allowed to be, to fall apart, to be challenged, to be changed, to shift, right? But it's beautiful because again, it brings this beautiful energy of transformation and again harmony, right? Which is another amazing energy to show up for you for this year. But it comes first with that foundational shaking, right? So it's like the chaos before the calm, if you will. You have here as well the Queen of Wands, right? So I feel like this is helping you to discover courage, right? And to be confident in yourself, right? Playing the observer, though it can be intimidating, comes with incredible benefits. Why can I not talk? Because it allows you to find this confidence within yourself, knowing that you can literally survive just anything, right? Because it essentially, like, those foundations are shaking beneath you, right? And you play the observer, and in doing so you create this strength because you're able to navigate situations don't hold power over you any longer, right? Can't provoke anger and frustration and chaos within you, right? So there comes this incredible strength, and with that strength comes incredible courage. And I feel like this is just one of the many opportunities that you'll have. I feel, again, it's an opportunity to see how courageous you actually are, how strong you actually are, how much fire you actually have within you. You have the Knight of Wands here, which is interesting because it's, I don't know, it's like a step back from the Queen of Wands, right? This Knight of Wands is about being angry, essentially, and impulsive, right? Reckless even. But here's the thing, I just feel like this is what you're growing from, right? This is that opportunity to learn yet again. I feel like it's the opportunity to have that control over how, that anger, that passion, and to be able to navigate those energies with more ease, courageously, bravely, confidently, right? Fearlessly, even. You have the Hierophant here in reverse showing up as well, which is super interesting because I feel like there's this energy of leaving behind it feels like, okay, like leaving behind some of those outdated belief systems, right? Like societal beliefs, cultural beliefs, religious or organized religion types of things, right? I feel like these are things that I feel like you want to move away from or are moving away from, right? I also feel like with that Hierophant in reverse, that one of the challenges, right, of these things that you're learning is that patience, right? Because in the upright, the Hierophant is this representation of being patient and grounded, right? What's another word? I feel like it's also like appreciative, like excited about life, right? Like overjoyed about living. And I just feel like these are changes that are taking place as some of these outdated beliefs or seeing these things from a different perspective change, right? As you play the observer, as you close cycles out, like these, how you view these things are going to change, I feel, right? Which can be challenging. It's challenging to create such big shifts, such big change, right? So what your soul wants you to know, Aquarius, you have why here. This is the number 31. And what your soul wants you to know is, why are you choosing what you're choosing? Chewing? That's interesting. Why are you choosing what you're choosing? Right? Maybe some of you are eating while you're watching this, and there's something here for you, something important. But why are you choosing what you're choosing? What are your motives? What is your reasoning behind the path that you're walking? Behind the choices that you're making? What is the reason? Right? How does it sit with your soul, with your being? Now, obviously, we can't go back and change the past. What's done is done. It's best to leave it there. So I don't feel like this is about questioning your why from past experiences. I feel like this is questioning your why in each given moment as you're moving through 2023. So as to make sure that you're not moving from motives that are not in alignment with you, who you truly are, right? It just feels like questioning everything. Literally feels like questioning everything, right? About yourself, about your environment, asking why. Let me try to just move these up a smidge so we can fit the remaining cards on the table so you can see them. There we go, that's better. Right, so you also have here, no, not right. You also have, no. Where did, okay. Yes. You also have your round and round. I knew that's where that card went, so I apologize. You also have round and round here. This is the number 25, right? So I feel like, yeah, I feel like your soul is saying, like, make sure you're asking why. Make sure you're asking questions because you don't want to just be doing something, right? Like on autopilot. Does that make sense? Like, because I'm kind of seeing it as like, you don't want to be doing something and just walking in circles, repeating the same cycles, right? So I feel like your soul's saying, like, it's important to ask why so that you don't keep repeating the same things, which is beautiful because you have so much energy here supporting the completion of cycles, right? And I feel like 2023 for you could be a big, big year for that, a big, big year for completing cycles. So from the tarot, you have here the Empress. This is the number 3, right? And here's the thing, like, I feel like there's this energy of creating a new experience for yourself by asking why in every given moment. Okay? For some of you, maybe you experienced childbirth this year, right? Maybe you create a new being, okay, for some of you. But I feel like this Empress card for most is going to be related to what you're creating, the world that you're creating by asking why in every given moment, by asking what your motives are in every given moment, right? By preventing yourself from repeating the same cycles, I feel like you experience a whole new world, right? And that's how I'm seeing this Empress card showing up for you. You also have here the Page of Swords. And again, this is right here. This is so fascinating because the Page of Swords is like that studious type of energy, right? She's learning. And again, right, you're asking why because it's like, I don't want to keep repeating the same cycles. I've learned, right? I've learned now to not do that, right? So there, again, there's this energy. And here, there's, again, if you look, there's the Y card with the book there, and now the Page of Swords also with the book. So again, right, by asking why, I feel like your soul is saying you learn from those lessons so you don't repeat the same mistakes, so that you don't repeat the same cycles over and over again, right? It's becoming curious about yourself, curious enough to ask why, and then to make changes deliberately, right? Creating a new experience because, again, you've learned, right? So what does God, source, universe, whatever you refer to it as, want you to know? You have breathe here, right? I feel like God wants you to know that it's okay. And for some of you, I feel like you needed to hear that. Like it's going to be okay. And it's okay for you to just breathe sometimes. It's okay to be in silence. It's okay to take those moments for yourself. It's okay to just breathe, right? Again, there's that energy of enjoying the stillness or the silence, right? The peace that that brings. I feel like for somebody, I feel like God is saying, like, it's okay to do that for yourself. It's okay to take that for yourself. It's okay to relish in those moments, right? I don't know why. It almost feels like for some reason, maybe somebody feels guilty for it or something, right? Or maybe it's something you do for yourself and like somebody wanted to do it with you and you're like, no. And right? Like, I don't know what it is, but I feel like I need to say that it's okay for you to do that. This is the number 29 for those that are curious. Let's see what the tarot has to say. So there's the Ace of Cups. Look at how interesting this is because both of these cards have similar hand positions, right? I feel like God is saying, like, in these moments, right, when you give yourself that opportunity to breathe, when you give yourself the opportunity to be still and quiet, I feel like you connect with your heart space, you connect with source, with unconditional love, right? And I feel like it does bring you peace. I feel like you have, like, I'm literally like feeling like you're so validated in loving those moments, right? It just feels to me like God's like, yeah, yeah, it makes sense, right? Like, it feels so lovey when I'm getting like release of fear too. I feel like you also are able to release fear in those moments, right? I feel like in those moments, it's like nothing matters. There are no fears, there are no worries, there are no cares, right? There's nothing that is, it can't get worse, right? There's not like it can't get worse. That's how I feel. That's how I feel like you're able to feel in those moments, right? Four of Swords. Yeah, I feel like it helps you to relax. Because here, this Four of Swords in the reverse is this energy of like restlessness, right? Being burnt out or stressed. And so I feel like God's saying like those moments where you're connected to source energy in that space and in that stillness, right? I feel and they're taking the time to breathe, to feel into your heart space, right? To hear your heart even. I feel like those are the moments where you're able to, it doesn't feel like the stress is lingering, right? It can only go up from here, can only feel better from here. Like it feels like it helps to take away some of that stress, right? It's like a decompression kind of. Here we have the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, and I feel like what's interesting about this is, I mean, essentially it's lost opportunities, right? And like I really feel like I need to say to you, it's like, how do I word this? Make like this is important for you, right? If you resonate with what I've been saying about this so far, breathing and that stillness, that quiet, like this is important for you, Aquarius. This is something that helps you to carry on, like to move through your days, to navigate them, to carry them, right? If you will. And I feel like in avoiding this or putting it second burner on like on the back burner or like pushing it down on your list of priorities, like I feel like that's where you create missed opportunities, right? Like I just feel like it's like, I don't know how to word it. It's like you miss the opportunity to relieve that stress, to relieve that burnout. So it's like don't skimp out on that. Right? It's something that you've found peace in, that you've found comfort in, right? Keep utilizing it. If it's not broken, you know what I'm saying? Like, sorry, I'm just going to adjust the camera here just a little bit so you can kind of still see. There we go. Okay, so let's take a look now at a blessing you'll have the opportunity to receive this year. There is a change in the wind here showing up. This is the number 12, which reduces to 3. Again, about growth, expansion, right? And a change in the wind. Here's what's beautiful about that. And this is something that's been coming up repeatedly as I've moved through these signs for the year. Um, is right, and also in my membership as well, in some of our daily readings, this has shown up of right when the wind blows, and it blows, at high speeds. There are times when it blows debris around, right, and can create what feels messy. It feels like a mess or feels chaotic, right? But it also disperses seeds, right? Which then can find a place to grow and flourish. So I feel like that's what this is about, right? I feel like this change is coming to move you to a place or align you to a place, which is interesting because it's similar to that serendipity card, like being kind of lifted by that clover, right? I feel like this change in the wind or this movement is allowing you to be dispersed or aligned with what is meant for you so that you can grow, right? So that you can flourish. I really do feel that way. Let's see what the tarot has too. So also the Page of Wands here in the reverse, right? And again, this is a blessing, right? So the Page of Wands in reverse can be this energy of like maybe procrastinating, right? Maybe it's interesting because it kind of is like maybe lack of direction, but it can also be this energy of conflict. And so here's the interesting thing, like maybe not everybody would see a change in the wind or something that stirs some conflict, or maybe makes you feel a little bit like you don't really know where you're going or what you're doing, as anything other than a blessing, right? But there are some who would look at this situation and see it as this clean slate showing up, right? And from a clean slate, you have the opportunity to create anything you wish, right? So while some may see this mix up or stirring, as it were, of the winds, this change taking place, some may see it as being, um, again, anything but a blessing. There's opportunity here. And again, it's the opportunity to receive a blessing, right? It's not something that's just automatically handed to you in a shiny box. It's literally an opportunity. So you have to be willing to take it. You have to be willing, right? And so it's fascinating because, again, there's this procrastination energy or this lack of direction. So it's like, in order to experience this change, you have to be willing to take action. You have to be willing to face the conflict, right? You have to be willing to move forward. And I love this because, again, it's an opportunity for growth. And that opportunity is also indicated by that page because the page is a young energy, which means you have the room to grow and to learn, right? Which is why this is happening. So absolutely beautiful for you for 2023 Aquarius. I pray that something in this reading has been helpful or beneficial for you in some way, shape, or form as you move through this year. I pray that your year is full of expansion, growth, good luck, good fortune, peace, and the ability to breathe and enjoy the moment, right? To find closure in the things that have, haunted you or prevented you from moving forward, right? And to step very confidently and bravely into everything that you're meant to be in this lifetime. Again, thank you so much for being here. If something did resonate with you, please do the YouTube things by liking, sharing, or smashing that subscribe button. It really does help the channel to grow, and I am truly so very grateful for you doing so. Have an incredible, incredible 2023. Take care of your beautiful soul, and I hope to see you on the next one. Bye.